We cherish Saturday mornings on a farm. It's when my husband trades his military uniform for farm clothes and we get to work together. While he and kids perform morning chores around the farm, I spend my time in the kitchen making breakfast. It has become a tradition that every time we come to the farm on Saturday, we have biscuits and gravy. I always make sure to have a few sticks of butter in my freezer at all times. Once you make this recipe for biscuits once, I promise you'll never go back to buying store-bought biscuits again. The key ingredient in this recipe is buttermilk. Buttermilk is acidic. It helps to soften the gluten in your flour, creating a more tender, melt-in-your-mouth crumb. Now, I don't always have buttermilk on hand, and when I don't, I do use regular milk. And my whole family will tell you that there is a difference when I use buttermilk and regular milk. Another tip in making these biscuits perfect is to use frozen butter. Now, when you bake the biscuits, the frozen butter pieces melt in the oven. The water in the butter turns to steam, creating the tiny air pockets that puff up the dough. This gives you those beautiful fluffy layers when the biscuit is done. Now, I have learned the hard way, and I want to save you all the trouble I can. There's been a time or two, maybe three, when I did not have frozen butter on hand. So I took a stick of butter from the refrigerator. And because once you start working your dough after you shred the butter, your hands are warm, so it transfers the heat to your dough. So your butter softens just before it even gets a chance to go in the oven. Then when I put it in the oven at high temperature, the butter melts quickly, creating a puddle for your biscuits to swim in. And your biscuit ended up being tough and dense and just not very good. Ask my family about it. Now that we covered buttermilk and frozen butter, let's talk about creating layers in your biscuits. Roll the dough out gently into a rectangle, then fold it over like you would be closing a book. Turn dough a quarter turn, roll it out again, and fold it. I usually do this process of fold and turn 4 times. I don't know about you, friend, but I love learning history of foods, and biscuits have a quite fascinating history. Long before we had the soft, buttery biscuits we love today, there were ship's biscuits. That was the name of the biscuits, or that's how they called them back then. They were hard, dry bread sailors and soldiers carried on long journeys because it wouldn't spoil. In America, biscuits really found a home in the South. Because in the South, wheat grew very well there and families needed quick breads that didn't rely on yeast. So they mixed up simple pantry staples like flour, butter, milk to make tender biscuits in their wood stoves. What I find interesting is that biscuits go back all the way to 1700s. And before we had baking powder, people rely on buttermilk. The acidity in buttermilk reacted with baking soda to make biscuits really tall and fluffy, giving us today that light, melt-in-your-mouth texture that's still favored in the South. When I married my husband, I quickly learned that his grandmother makes the best buttermilk biscuits. As a young bride, I couldn't wait to learn all the tips and tricks from her so that way I can make the same delicious biscuits at home for my husband. But what she also taught me is that you cannot have biscuits without gravy. She told me that I do not have to have any kind of measurements to make the gravy. As someone who was not experienced in cooking, measurements was all I always relied on. So when she said that, I'm pretty sure I panicked a little bit. She then explained that when my meat is finished cooking, add a little bit of flour. She then said you want to start out slowly, add a little bit of flour at a time, and you'll know that you had enough when all the grease from the sausage has been absorbed. When adding your milk, you pour a little bit at a time. I usually pour enough to cover the top of my meat. Let it simmer a little bit. The gravy will thicken up. If you added too much milk, no worries. Just let your gravy cook a little bit longer and that will evaporate some of the unwanted milk. Friend, give this recipe a try and I hope this will become your family's Saturday morning tradition too. And if you like a good old cobbler, check out my YouTube channel. I have already posted the recipe, and don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Until next time, friends, may your days be simple and your hearts full.